History Month. Why do we celebrate Black History Month? You see, I've been asking myself this question, and I'm not trying to debunk the richness of this legacy, but why is Black history celebrated as a separate entity? Why is it not told as part of all of humanity's story? And why do we get just 1 month to showcase 3 million years of human ancestry, just 31 days to acknowledge the glories of this antiquity? And what do we see? We see accounts of the European slave trade and Africans in chains, the tales of abolitionists fighting for change, white people rescuing black people from a life of servitude, and I don't want to be misconstrued. I admire their commitment and I admire their fortitude. I'm not trying to be rude, and I'm not here to offend anyone. But when did Black history become all about what white Europeans have done? Should we have called it White Guilt History Month? Because this so-called celebration of Black history seems to focus mainly on the last 5 centuries and predominantly on challenges to European slavery. But when I hear the term Black history, I don't just think of those men and women who showed great dignity, who stood free when facing injustice and inequality. And I salute those pioneers of the past who paved the way, who gave us direction and who showed us a path. To the likes of Rosa, Martin, Malcolm and Harriet, I lift my hat and I raise my glass, but I also want to know about what happened before those 500 years of European colonial attack. See, I want to know about Africa before she was raped and ravaged and ripped apart. I want to know about her ancient civilizations, their cultures, their sciences and their arts. I want to know about a history that stretches back for so many millennia to the earliest humans who roamed the grasslands of what is now Ethiopia. And I want to know how 3 million years ago when Lucy walked the earth, that somewhere in Central Africa came humanity's birth. I want to know about Greater Zimbabwe, the Kingdom of Kush and Africa's ancient stone cities. See, they didn't just build mud huts, they built cohesive communities and they built sophisticated societies. And I want to know how ancient Africans discovered and developed new technologies. I want to learn about the Dogon tribe of the 13th century whose furnaces could produce carbon steel of a high-grade quality over 500 years ahead of European technology. And I want to know how ancient Africans could plot the paths of stars and studied astronomy, and how they discovered new medicines and studied human anatomy. I want to know how Greek philosophers took knowledge from ancient black Egyptian universities, people like Pythagoras, Plato, Aristotle and Socrates, household names that we remember today, but who remembers the names of those Africans that showed them the way? You see, we can remember the theory of right-angled triangles that Pythagoras gave us, but you think ancient Africans knew none of this knowledge, even though they were pyramid builders. And they were empire builders, and they were innovators, and they were creators. They weren't just the victims of colonisers and slave traders, or commodities for Western exploitation. They built nations, and they laid down the foundations of civilization for coming generations in Africa, the cradle of all our creation. So let us revise, let's rewrite our history books, because this Eurocentric perspective, it needs to be shut up. This history has for too long been overlooked, for too long been marginalised. Let's reclaim what we have all been denied, and let's demystify this white lie, this European-made mystery, and let's debunk this racist fallacy. And let's not take just 1 month, just 31 days to acknowledge the glories of our antiquity. Let's embrace all our vast and varied ancestry, and let's celebrate Black history, not as some separate entity, but every day in its rightful place as part of life's rich tapestry. Let's all celebrate Black history. Let's celebrate Black history as part of all our human story. Thank you.